for me, this was something I saw being used on LinkedIn. You and I know LinkedIn to be a bit of a refuge for
Rubbish.
rubbish. It's something that was used on to great effect on LinkedIn. On Instagram, and then ported across to Facebook. And then they go, where else can we get a little bit more traction? LinkedIn. Let's just make sure we post it on all of our platforms. It doesn't quite fit. Whatever. LinkedIn's LinkedIn. You put a bit of text at the top, you put a link, and then an image of a beach, and then traffic. That's how that works. This designer, he started this, I think, pretty much during the lockdown, the isolation, and started posting these really intuitive or really well designed stories, effectively, because LinkedIn doesn't have stories. But he created something that means that on the page here you can see this is an ode to NHS. It's a timeline, but he's used the actual functionality of it to really great effect. You can see NHS in the middle there, but that isn't the full image because it's only part of one of 4, right? Or 5, I should say. But he's essentially created something on LinkedIn using the tools available to create a story. 1948, the establishment of the NHS, and then people being charged 1 shilling to have access to the NHS or being abolished. And it goes on and on and on, telling a story in such a creative way that it really stuck with me. And he's carried on doing this throughout this period of isolation in the UK. So 3 weeks now, and done different ones using different tricks within LinkedIn. And obviously, you've got a lot of people sat at home wanting to. They look on LinkedIn because it's an easy place to go and look at during work hours. It's not a guilty pleasure, but it helps. And I just thought this was a phenomenal.
This is LinkedIn done right, in my opinion. I love this. I think LinkedIn's problem right now is kind of like what's happened to other social channels, in the sense, like you were saying earlier, a bit of text and an image, job done. And everybody was trying to have a go with the algorithm and do all sorts of stuff. But this guy, he's basically done what was popular on Instagram probably 2 years ago, when everybody was laying out the grids and all that. The problem was nobody really saw that grid because they had to go to your account to go and see that grid that you did. You know, when you used to put the big logo.
Yeah. Like
9 by 9 or 3 by 3,
yeah.
sorry. I don't know why we used to do that. It used to be in the strategy and like, okay, wonderful. But this guy, this is in the feed, this grid, and he's done it really well. It's also, yes, like the content that he's writing about plays a massive part, because he's doing this happy approach, and we're all celebrating the NHS right now. But it's just that I love it when people manipulate what the tools are for. So LinkedIn's built that as just like, you were going to do some thumbnails of an event or an award ceremony, whatever. And he's like, you know what? This is a grid. I could go into a little Photoshop PSD template, whatever, and I can split that up into 9 images, and it's going to look slick and get people's attention. And I admire him for that. Just based on that, regardless of what this guy does for a living, I'm following his account now, because 1, his content is interesting, and 2, he's presenting it better than anyone else.
Absolutely. You know what? He's driven a lot. I think he may not have been the first person to do it, but he's the first person I saw do it really well. And for me, it's changed a lot of behaviors I've seen on there, because I think people have taken this and gone, that raises the bar for LinkedIn. LinkedIn used to just be, as I said, it used to be text, hashtags, link, image, done.
Move on.
And that was what you did. It was information dissemination, effectively. You'd just be pushing it out. We know full well, you and I both know really well, that LinkedIn, the algorithm is really easy to game. You just put something up, top of the thing, people to share it, comment, like, and it just pops it to the top. It's not as complex an algorithm as LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, etc. So this guy's done something that actually has value on here that I think will stand a bit more test of the time, because people will come back to this or share it more than they would have originally, because he might have only had a very small audience, but I think he's got people's interest now. He's definitely got my interest. For sure.
I think it's quite cool in the sense, like, he's not only is he a designer, but he also knows how to put those designs out onto a social channel so that they get traction, so that they get found, so that it will stand out in the newsfeed. It's the fact that, like, without risk of repeating myself, is that he's kind of looked at, all right, we're all on here. There's a couple million of us on here. We're all doing the same thing. We're doing a LinkedIn article, and then maybe a couple shares off the back and a couple comments. How am I going to stand out here? All right, let me look at the functionality. Oh, this grid. Okay, it's a 2 by 3 or something. You know what I mean? And oh, that's how the slider works. Oh, then that's how PowerPoint works. Maybe I could do a slide. Do you know what I mean?
This is exactly what I want to show you next. Is he did another one which is all about and you're spot on. So why would I hire this guy? His graphic design work is as good as anyone else's. So absolutely agree. He's already up there. So I think he's really pushed himself over the edge. This was the worst pandemics in history. So a difficult topic to get across. But again, then you got the challenge of putting stats up on LinkedIn. And one of the worst things about stats, if you have to scroll more than a few, you're not really, and you can't really tell a story. He's managed to do that, I think. And he's taken that functionality that LinkedIn introduced not too long ago to be able to upload a PDF to LinkedIn and actually be able to preview it. And you can do that on mobile. That's one of the most important things. I can just swipe through this on mobile and have a story. And he's done that with the worst pandemics in history.
Wow.
A difficult topic. So you swiping through on mobile, on desktop, and then suddenly we've got this data being represented that would usually be a chart here and there and big numbers and stuff like that people don't really get a sense of. And here he's done it in terms of severity of these pandemics. It goes on HIV and AIDS. You see it across the bottom here, moving 25 to 35 million, and you can see the scale growing. Now we have to keep going. And you get smallpox, Spanish flu, keeps going now and that. And so he's telling a story. Now this is where it gets interesting. It's a bit of comedy in here as well. How to introduce comedy into a PDF. Keep going. One more, Black Death. There we go. 200 million. I've just been given a story that isn't on video, because usually that's how I would convey this stuff. I mean, my go-to, convey a story via video, not via a PDF on LinkedIn. That just wouldn't be my go-to.
This is, if you think about it, one, he's got I think it's a square. It looks like a square. So obviously he can repeat this as a carousel on Instagram. But what he did there was he's realized he was showing you this chart of these pandemics in relation, and to emphasize the size of the Black Death, you're limited in a square. Yeah. So he did the keep going. Because like, if you imagine if you were scrolling through a graph now, excuse me, he's done that. And like you said, he's put a bit of lightheartedness on it. Probably not the best topic to do it, but he's done it so cleverly. It's tied into the fact that it slides across. This guy's work is phenomenal. Like, he's using the functionality available to him. And that's something that a lot of people say on social as well. If you really want to do well, use the functionality that's available. Instagram, use those carousels, use the video. Don't just put a picture up. On Twitter, use the galleries on Twitter. There's a cool thing, we won't get into it too much detail right now, and I'm actually looking to do it myself, that Disney did for Disney Plus on Twitter, where they used the 3 blocks under the tweet that's available for a gallery, and they created a seamless thumbnail for one of their shows or one of their films. So you had Frozen, then you had The Mandalorian, and it just looked amazing. So I think with this kind of stuff, especially what this guy does, and he's inspired me because I'm going to go off and crack out a few LinkedIn posts in a minute, but you embrace that. You've got a slider ready there, and that's simple to do in a PDF. It's like editing. You could go into PowerPoint, do your slides, export as a PDF, upload, your job is done. If you know Photoshop, you can build a little template or spliced, put your big image up, upload it, export as a PDF. The tools are there, and this guy will stand out. If you're looking to grow your LinkedIn right now, don't follow all these gurus who are saying, I've got the formula and all that. Embrace the tools that are available to you. Sorry, I'm going on because I'm really excited. I really like what that guy's doing.
I absolutely agree. I mean, the thing for me, as you say, spot on. He's used the tools that are available. He's kept it simple. It's a PDF, and some of the images that he's just stacked into an order and added. You have to add them in the correct order so as they come up and present themselves on the.
Everybody does that in Instagram with carousel. You know what? The other thing is Canva. You could do this on Canva.
Yeah,
like you could go in, export as PDF, as long as it's square. And it doesn't have to be square. It could probably be a long portrait style, but this stuff's so doable. And the thing is, now the reason I want to go do this quickly is that everyone's going to cordon on to this, and it's just going to get saturated.
Absolutely. And I think it's because it's accessible for anyone. I don't have to have Photoshop to do this. I will do it in Photoshop because it's the best tool there. But you could do this in PowerPoint, PDF it, put it up there. Done. You're reusing material that you already have in the business. You're not spending any extra expense apart from a bit of time. I think, this guy's absolutely nailed it. He's got loads of these. And one of the things he's been really good at is being timely. And I'll show you this last one that he put up. This was 1st of April. Obviously, we were all stuck indoors. I mean, the only interaction of 1st of April I really got was people sending me rubbish stories online because everyone knew, look, what's coming. He had done this series of pictures. And then this one here in particular was just one picture. So he knew people were familiar with his format. And people were saying, how many times did you try and click them? And it's obviously hidden in there. So how many times?
I didn't even see that message then until you opened it big. Yeah.
It's cool.
The guy's very clever. He's the thing about this is like, if you were to go to, like, let's say me, for instance, I work in content marketing, and you were to look at my stuff and it wasn't grabbing your attention, I'm probably not doing my job very well. Look, granted, it's the whole cobbler's shoes thing. You look after your clients and then your own
Yeah.
stuff. So if anybody's looking to hire me, just ignore that. But he knows what he's doing. He's, how am I going to grab attention here? What am I going to do? And he's very good. I mean, you should try and get him on here sometime and get his thought
I would
process.
love to. I just want to know how, just the story of how he approached this, because you have to think out of the box for that sort of thing. Because you look at LinkedIn, and I don't ever look at LinkedIn and go, it's broken. How can I use it to my advantage? Or how can I change what I'm doing? I just don't, I mean, I personally don't have the time. You know, you work on, as you say, you work on client stuff, and then work on your own stuff. You don't have headspace for that. So I don't know if he's taken some inspiration from the available time that he has at the moment, or maybe he just recognized the fact that he's got these talents, and he needed to apply them in some way, and he wanted to find the outlet. I mean, you're quite right. He could have used this on Instagram, but I love that he used it on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I love that he's used it on LinkedIn. I love the fact that it's not a typical one of those. The amount of times I've seen a picture of Richard Branson with some cheesy quote, you know, and or his Steve Jobs, he started in this garage. I'm like, yeah, thanks for that. Do you know what I mean? So, no, he's really good. I like his stuff. I'm actually going to go follow him after this podcast.
Yeah, it's well worth keeping an eye. I think as he's found a format that works for him. I'd be interested to see how he keeps evolving it, because that's always going to be the challenge. But if he's on top of the tools that all the you know, LinkedIn produce updates, if you'll just keep an eye out for what they're doing new, then you know he's going to stay on top.
He's good, but he's just got too much time on his hands.
Clearly.